terrific turnout. Everybody welcome. I think you're in for a real treat today. Those of you who were here at our last session when Richard spoke, you know how that went. And today will be, I think, even more informative and more exciting. So without further ado, let me just have Richard Sherwin come up and do his thing.
Thanks, Howard. And welcome, everybody. This is a live and recorded show, so don't be afraid to ask questions. Plus, I have some of the questions that you guys hit me with after the other show is over, and I'm going to try to answer them live. Especially for the IBM people in the front here who probably bothered me while I was working there. They survived, I didn't. And I have some breaking news. Are any of you planning to watch the Olympics?
Yes.
Do any of you have an Amazon Alexa?
Yes.
Well, be very careful because the United States has an extremely great ice skater whose name is Alexa. Her name is going to be used every day about 20 times. And I know the professionals know how to turn that off. I don't, so don't ask me how. Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. Some more news. If any of you have a set-top box, like a Roku, or a Google Chromecast, or Kodi, the good news is that if you only have internet, whether you be in Florida or New York, you will be able to use those to see and hear network broadcasting. So if you don't have on-demand, as of tomorrow, those services, ABC, NBC, Fox, most of the news channels on those set-top boxes will be a great backup. Why is it a great backup? Because if it's a season where we're having a lot of power outages, you can still run Roku and those devices on a battery, whereas your TV, if the network goes down, you have no other way to watch television. You can still have all 800 channels on Roku or Chromecast. Also, there's a hot rumor going around that in Florida, especially with Comcast, there's a new remote. And we tested it, and it was terrible. The old remote is much better. However, that news has been reported, and they will probably upgrade it for free for many people. Ironically, if you're back in New York listening to this, or in Long Island, Verizon and Fios, maybe the best system ever, is having the same problem. They've all put too much into these remotes, and it's not working out. But again, Verizon says that fix is on the way. The next thing I want to talk about is a great buy. This will cost you less than $12, and it will work on your phone, on your tablet, on your PC, on your Mac. This mouse, oh, wait. This is my dog's mouse.
No battery in there.
No battery, but it does make noise. This mouse. This mouse, available Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon, probably under $12, will last 20 to 30 hours without a charge. And then when you have to charge it, just plug it into your computer. I found this was great, especially if you're not used to using a tablet, and if you need a backup when your own PC's mouse dies. Excellent product, available. The name is Nuon, N-U-N, and we've been using this for a month, and it's terrific on everything. It's Bluetooth enabled, and if you can use your Bluetooth, you can use that mouse. Another question we got that we couldn't answer as we ran out of time was the emergence of Skype being the #1 way to talk to your kids, grandkids, families all over. Skype has instituted a $10 surcharge. Now you're saying Skype is free to use within Skype customers. However, I am saying this is one time spending $10 with Microsoft, which owns Skype, is actually a great idea, because if you want to communicate with non-Skype people, this $10 will last you a whole year, and especially if you're communicating in Europe, in Israel, South America, and those numbers could mount up. More details at both of those websites, but this is the first time I think Skype is doing a good service with a minimal fee. Other questions that we got to last time and only half answered. Thank God everybody is using their devices now to read. So ebooks have become very, very important. But what you should know is that many of these services, whether it's the Google Books or Kindle or the iBooks, don't use the same format. So we got a lot of questions, in fact, as recently as 2 days ago, to both those websites. Is there any way to be able to use an iBook on a Kindle, or a Kindle on a PC, or a PC on an Android? Very easy, and it's free. There are 3 services, one called Format Factory. It's a download that takes maybe 30 seconds. Another one is called Hamster eBook. These are open source, meaning be careful when you download it, make sure you're downloading it from that site. These services within 30 seconds can convert 300 books into whatever format you want. And again, more answers right on those 2 websites. Another company called Calibre, which has been around as ebooks started to come, is very, very popular because it collects the books and it has a lot of different ways to read just on Calibre. So you can put Calibre on your Kindle, you can put it on your Android devices and Mac. I found that it was actually hard to use because it had so many buttons. I didn't know which one to press, but it is very, very popular. Next, the Amazon Echo has, as you know, gone past the Google device and the Apple device, which today got banned by every single newspaper, including us, because being overpriced, not as good a quality as they promised, and it really only works in an Apple environment. So if you are an Echo user, there's a new thing that launched February 1st, and that's called Echo Phone. So if an Echo and another person has an Echo, no matter where they are, you can make a free phone call on Echo. You just go to the main menu and say, add a person, and if it's a person with an Amazon account, it's like that. Now, what we found was really good. We saw a demo of this back in New York about 3 or 4 months ago for health and safety reasons. Because when somebody can't reach a phone, God forbid they fell, Echo, the Amazon Echo, will answer anywhere else. So you can say, call my neighbor. You can't use the police yet, but it will be. And call my neighbor, call my mother, call my father. And it's a great service, and it's free. And I see already some people have gotten my name and number, and they are sending me strange recordings and weird things. So it does work. It does work. Just don't remember my name. Another thing is customer service. Who are the best? Who are the worst customer service people? Lately, Consumer Reports and the AARP magazine, the newspaper, reported that Microsoft all of a sudden had gone past everybody to #1. Now, I find that amazing. I've been fighting with Microsoft since its inception. So I tried it for everything from rebooting my computer to getting rid of a virus, and all of a sudden, their 24-hour free service is terrific. Even if it's a computer you had 3 or 4 years ago, or it's due for an upgrade, if you're not familiar, whether it be with Windows or Microsoft Office or anything like that, I just find, this is one case where I agree with Consumer Reports. Microsoft has really put a lot of money into their customer service. Ironically, number 2 is Amazon. They make enough money to afford it, but their customer service, whether it be for an Amazon product or something you bought, is very, very good. My tip on Amazon is because Amazon now does use a lot of offshore support, is with Amazon, when you hit the button, try to get to North American support, and then you will get somebody much more fluent in your language. I know I got bombarded by you guys last time with complaints about Comcast and some people about Verizon. Verizon has brought back their customer support to the U.S. If you're a Fios customer or a Verizon wireless customer, odds are you will get U.S. support. Comcast, not so much. But in Florida, Comcast has taken over a territory that's too big for its britches, but they've added over 400 employees in the last 6 weeks to handle this. Again, if you want to make sure, if you're a condo customer, when you call Comcast, ask for the bulk service. And that will get you to somebody that does speak English and understands your service. Also, Comcast has added, if you know how to get online to your own account on Comcast, some very, very good ways to fix things and arrange things. They spent, I think, something like $12 million over the last 5 months. Again, they're playing catch up to Verizon, but their service now is just as good, and their customer service is getting better. I'm sure most of you will bombard me tomorrow saying that's not true, but at least I've been testing it. Okay, here is the biggest question I got last time that I did not have an answer for. Everybody, whether they're using an Apple product, a PC, or an Android, occasionally gets a pop-up saying, do you want a free upgrade? Or, can you please say automatic notifications? And I hadn't gotten that. Now I'm getting it too. These automatic notifications are not, I repeat, not a good idea. Even though they're coming from the manufacturer, the service provider, it gives a location, but it also goes back to their marketing department. So yes, you might get more news from the New York Times website, or you might get more answers from AT&T or DirecTV. It's not worth it. When you get a thing saying, do you want more notifications, say no.
Never.
Or never, right. Which brings me to something that a lot of people wanted to know. In the last 3 months, Apple, Microsoft, and Google Android all had legitimate upgrades to their systems. The Microsoft one was really basically taking you to a whole new operating system. The Apple was just the next in a long line of Apple upgrades. And the Android, which actually is the fastest and easiest, is the only one I would recommend because it's one button and it doesn't go anywhere but that device. The other two I'd be very careful about. The Apple's newest operating system, which I think is 11B, is terrible. And it's very hard to get to. Apple actually, with all their money, got rid of their Texas-based support. So getting into Apple support, unless you go to the stores around here or in New York, wherever, I would not do that. From what everybody's telling me, it's not worth it. The changes are more Apple marketing and not necessarily improving your experience. The Microsoft upgrade, the toughest, the longest, and I get calls every day that something crashed. Unless you must do it, don't. If you must do it, call them. Even if it takes a couple of hours, have them do it. Let them be responsible. It takes anywhere, depending on the age and processor you have, it takes from 15 minutes to 2 hours, and it doesn't always work, but at least if you are doing it with Microsoft on the phone or on your computer, you have some defense. If you do it yourself and it falls apart halfway through, then you're going to be spending the next couple of weeks playing catch up. Another question I got. There are those of you in this audience who use bootleg software. I have an occasion, and I use Napster and Heyday to build my record collection. Now, there's finally legal alternatives for Microsoft Office, whether you're using it on a Mac or a PC. First of all, on most cell phones that are 3 years or younger, Microsoft has a free version of Mobile Office. Excellent product. I wish this product was on PCs or Macs. It's simple, whether it be its version of PowerPoint or Word or Outlook, is way better than the one you spend $200, $300 for, or that you bootleg and then cry later that it's screwing up your computer or making you cancel everything. My alternatives for Office, as far as a Word document, is something called Libre, L-I-B-R-E. It's been around as long as Office. It's free. It's supported by most computer people. It's called open source. What that means is regular people can contribute to it, but executives at Libre make sure it's working. Libre is available on any website. My suggestion is use Amazon's download. Amazon's download is faster, and Amazon will help you with it. But you probably won't need any help. It's that fast, and anything you write on Libre is compatible with any year of Microsoft Office. So I hardly recommend that. There are 3 or 4 others that I've used. I think Libre is the best. Okay. I get hit by this all the time. People accuse me of being anti-Apple. I'm not anti-Apple. However, I'm not going to spend $1,000 for an iPhone that doesn't do anything better than the LG model that's $200. If people ask me, they're so comfortable with their iPads and their iMacs that going to this product is a great idea. Even if you have the money, I wouldn't spend it. And ironically, within the last 3 weeks, that model of Apple is starting to slow down because people are finding it's difficult. The glass breaks easier. Ironically, what they boasted is not being able to smear or not see fingerprints or have the 2 cameras look at you better than a pro camera. Not so much. I noticed that all 3 of the service providers, to compete, they're offering Apple's version 8. And that seems to be fine. My choice there, even though I fight with them all the time, is Samsung's version 8, which I find much easier with better support. And lately on AT&T and Verizon is cheaper, and at Best Buy and Target are offering that product on sale if you buy it through Target with a Target credit card, which also gives you 5% off. Best Buy throws something else in there too. So right now, that and the new LG phones are my favorite phones. And I'm not saying the older iPhone is bad, I'm just saying be wary of the new ones. Okay, another toy. This is great for safety. I'm using it to monitor my puppy. However, many people use this for their aid, watch their grandchildren, or just for safety. This ranges at Logitech from about $100 to $300, depending on which model. They have one that's totally wireless. I found that doesn't work so well here, only because we have lousy Wi-Fi. But in general, it's a very, very good product. The new model of this can go outdoors or indoors. You can see what's going on, and you can connect either through your phone or through any other device you have outside of the home that has decent Wi-Fi. It takes maybe 2 minutes to set up. Logitech, which is now called Logi, I don't know why. Logi has limited support. It's only 5 days a week, but it's very good, although I have not gotten an email that of a person who said, I can't set it up, it's problematic. It's been fine. And I said the new version is really cool. It's a longer wire, and you can use it outdoors, indoors, and soon it will work with Alexa or Google Home. And I'm hoping that this version gets reduced in price. I think this one's about $250, but even there, it's well worth it for safety, security, and multiple uses. The newest model is called the Circle 2.
Is it a nanny cam?
It's a nanny cam. It is also has other uses. Some people are using it professionally, and I just like it. It just works really well. A lot of people ask me about Bluetooth headsets. This one is from Plantronics, and it rivals the one from Bose, but is a third of the price. This is good if you're doing business. It connects to your phone, it connects to your PC, it connects to your tablet, and it gives you about 100 feet of coverage. And it has noise canceling, and even though I have a strange head, this fits and is comfortable. The models that they're doing to compete with Bose are all the way up to the professional level at $300, $400, but the sound is unbelievable, and once you put one of those on, you may not leave the house. And I really like all three of their models. Okay, that gives me catch-up. I want to answer some questions. What have we got? Yes, sir, in the back.
Okay, the headset, that's the TV also?
Yes.
Repeat the question.
Okay, the headset can attach, some of the new TVs have Bluetooth built in. If not, there is a $29 product that's available in Walmart that makes your TV have Bluetooth out. And any of these Bluetooth headsets will work with that.
What is that called? The one that has Bluetooth out?
It's just called a Bluetooth extender. There's many models, and it's very, very easy. It plugs in. Does everybody know when they're plugging in something is usually a white and a red plug? That's all it takes. The rest, if you know Bluetooth, sets up very quickly.
I had a Comcast question. I had them in the other day to put in the new fancy box, and I guess not the controller anymore, but they say they have wireless. Do you recommend it?
Repeat the question.
There's a new wireless box that Comcast has for the TV.
The new wireless box for the other rooms you're talking about?
Yeah, they say.
No, I don't recommend that yet.
Okay.
I tested one of them, and at least where I live, the Bluetooth was not strong enough, and the Wi-Fi was not, the Comcast Wi-Fi itself was not strong enough. Right now, since there's no extra charge, I would use the regular wired boxes in your other rooms. You don't like the new remote?
It's okay. I'm still getting used to it. You just did it like 2 days ago.
Okay, so you realize that it will answer a lot of your extra Comcast questions too? You can talk into it. If you hit the A button, you can say, Comcast, why is my bill bad? Or why am I not getting this
That's
station?
why I called them in the first place.
Oh, all right. Yes, sir.
Bluetooth, the Bluetooth speakers.
Bluetooth speakers.
Okay, I have an iPhone or a phone that is Bluetooth.
Right,
Got an adapter for the computer for Bluetooth.
right.
Okay, there is different music on the computer than on the iPhone because I
Okay.
haven't combined it. Okay, will the speaker pick up both or only one?
One at a time. One at a time. This May, Logitech will make a speaker that can pick up both. If Logitech does it, then you'll see it on Amazon with a knockoff for half the price. But yes, it's a very common question. Not yet, sometime in May. Yes, ma'am.
In the past week or so, I've been getting a message that I have a virus on my computer. They claim they're from Microsoft, and if I don't, if I shut my computer down, I will not be able to turn it back on. Oh, all kinds of dangerous things on it. I shut my computer right down and waited a while. I put it back on, it came right back up again.
What? Okay, this lady is getting the now famous Microsoft death
Garbage.
warning. All right,
Yeah.
which most of us have been getting. Ironically, it is now appearing on Macs too, which really scares me because they don't really have anything preventative. What virus antivirus are you using?
Oh, I can't remember. My
Okay,
son,
what kind
my
of
son-
computer are you using?
an HP.
Okay, if you have a Windows 10 or even
Yes.
the last model, activate, it's free, Windows Defender on the HP. It's its own built-in antivirus. It will run with your antivirus. For whatever reason, Windows Defender seems to fend off that Microsoft messaging. Anybody who gets that message, do not ever click that on. We've actually done that just to test it, and what it is it's an offshore company that then gains your IP address, knows where you are, and it's only going to cause you trouble in the next 6 months. All the way in the back and the left.
Is there a similar Defender for Apple?
No. With Apple, you would have to buy either Norton or McAfee, and then you have to make sure you get their deluxe package, which has a pop-up preventer.
Is there a similar product provided by Trend?
The Megatrends version?
Yeah.
The Megatrends is fine, it's a little cheaper, but they all do the same thing. But on Apple, unfortunately, they did not build in, ironically, Android and PC have built-in protection. It's not perfect, but it does work. Apple doesn't, and now Apple is going to be much more vulnerable because it is so popular. Yes, sir?
They have experience with voice dictation software.
Yes.
What do you recommend?
Where are all the IBM people? Raise your hand. IBM launched it, bought a couple of companies, sold it. Then I went to Philips, and we inherited the IBM voice software. The two now that are standing, all the companies didn't want any part of it because it's very hard to operate. The newest version, I'm not sure how much it costs. I will find out if you email me. Is supposed to be very, very good and will do 90% of what you want and has a correction in it, so it will remind you that whatever you just dictated might be missing something. And if you go to Gary's site, it's listed on Gary's site. He tested it. Yes, sir?
Okay, Windows 10, please give me the total way of getting rid of narrator. I've tried everything.
Go into settings,
Yeah.
go into voice.
Turn off the voice, turn off narrator, it doesn't work.
Okay, then go into your system tray. What you've probably done is you've turned it off in your system tray is still alive. And I get that question all the
How do
time.
I get to the system tray?
On the bottom of your screen, go to the right, near where you see the computer or you see the speaker, and it should be right there. And turn it off in both places. Otherwise, that lady's going to hound you for the rest of your life.
I have a guy.
If I have malware on my system now.
If you
can I
have
still
malware
put-
on your system,
Yeah, how about, can I still put Windows Defender in?
Phones from an iPhone to a computer USB drive, free.
You mean from your iTunes collection?
No, from my phone to the computer. On
Yes.
the USB drive on the computer.
Yes. Email me, I'll get you it. I just did that the other day for my neighbor. I didn't know it existed, but her stuff wanted to go back to the computer, and that was the only way to do it. And there are 2 or 3 programs. Some cost about $15, though. It's not free. I want to remind you. Yes?
There's a program called Dragon Naturally Speaking that transfers voice to text, which you can get through Amazon.
Yes, that was owned by IBM and
Yeah.
Philips.
But it's not as expensive as the IBM.
Correct. And so
Right.
Dragon
Naturally
is
speaking.
a good program. Make sure wherever you get it, it's returnable, okay?
Yeah.
Because it sometimes doesn't. Yes, ma'am.
What is your email?
rsherwin@digitalfamilyadvisor.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so what I wanted to, yes, I'm sorry?
A lot of times, whenever I'm watching a movie on Netflix or Xfinity, I get 3/4 and then it goes out. There's something happens, the computer come back later. And it happens on a lot of movies.
Okay, so you're running Netflix off of your TV, off of your Roku? Where are you running Netflix? Okay, the TV-based Netflix is the weakest and doesn't have usually enough bandwidth to hold the whole movie. My recommendation is spend $39, buy the lowest end Roku you can buy, and you won't have that problem. Yes, sir.
I have Gmail. For some reason, I lost it completely.
Okay.
I don't know the addresses.
Did you remember your name that you used with it? Well, what do you remember? Okay. So, but you use Google? So if you use Google, there's a search bar there. Put your name there, and it might remind you of your email address. What we found is, and I do this all the time, is a lady 6 rows back there, pretty lady who says, how come you never remember your password? I have enough trouble remembering my name and my password. So there are 3 programs now available for Android and PC, not for Apple yet, that will do that as part of your antivirus or other system protection. And it's a great way because it's going to remember everything you did and store it. Yes, sir?
Well, you can use, I use LastPass on my computer and I can use it on my iPhone as well.
LastPass is very good. It is very
So
good.
it goes across.
However, on LastPass, back up LastPass independently onto a flash drive. Because if something happens to your Mac or your PC, you're not going to get back to LastPass because you're not going to know the password to get to LastPass. Yes, sir.
The password registry for Apple is called -lane.
Yes. The problem, I had this issue with Apple 2 weeks ago on my iPad. Oh, the Apple backup for password is -lane. My issue with that is when I lost my password on my iPad, which is different than on my iPhone or my iPod, Apple now has a security rule where they will send you a new password, except they only will do it to your last email address. So if you've changed email, they're going to send it to a bad email address. And then you have to file an appeal, and then it takes another week to get that password back. So with Apple, again, this is a security thing, and it's probably a good idea, but that's something really to remember, especially with Apple, because they triple their security. Yes, ma'am?
What was the name again, please, of the program that keeps the password for Mac?
Oh, well, there's several independent ones that come. You can go to any of the generic websites and find one of those. But again, I just want to remind people, with Apple, last couple of months, they've tightened everything up. I don't care how long you've been an Apple user, they are being very, very strict. I have some other things I wanted to mention. Oh wait, I'm sorry, sir.
Okay, do you think a 1 or 2 terabyte portable backup is as good as a standard unit?
Depending on the speed of that terabyte.
For instance, like the Western Digital
The
unit?
Western Digital is fine. But you need to make sure that the connection from the Western Digital external hard drive, whatever your input is, whether it be USB, or they even have micro SD in that size, is compatible. Otherwise, you may have that backup, but it might take you 3 or 4 years to recover. It'll be too slow. So Western Digital, on the back of their packaging, actually tells you that it's USB 2. USB 2 and 3, for people who don't know the ports that you have, it's been around so long that the technology in those ports have changed. So you may have an older computer that works well, backs up onto a flash drive. However, you may try a newer device plugging in there, and it will be very, very slow. Yes, sir?
They're both 3.2, they're both backwards compatible.
Yes.
So would you recommend one over the other?
3.
Because I really like the portability, but I kind of think that the standard unit maybe is more substantial.
It is more substantial, but the inside is exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah, they've changed that from being hardware-based to being software-based. I mean, there is still something spinning, I just don't know what it is. And it doesn't make as much noise.
What is the best antivirus software?
The best antivirus software, you want to know? I use Windows Defender over Norton and McAfee. Avast was really good till it became commercial, and Avast now, you might use it for free for 3 months, and then it will slip in commercial. The best one I saw was available, a lower version at Costco for $19.99, and it stripped some of the things you would never use. That goes on sale every 3 months, and that would be my #1 other than using whatever you have built in. Also, many people buying new PCs, you'll get 3 months, 6 months of free antivirus. Use it and see if you like it. Usually, to re-up for that is very, very cheap if you've been using it.
What about Norton?
A stripped down Norton, yes. The full Norton, no. Yes.
Is there any way to stop the ads from popping up on, I have an Apple and Mac.
Right.
And I open it up to New York Times as my Windows page.
Yeah.
And I have just stuff coming at me and at me and at me.
On what browser are you using? Safari?
Yes.
There's a pop-up blocker. You have to download it. Safari doesn't come with it.
What?
Pop-up blocker. And that's on both sites. Pop-up blocker. Download it, and that will do about 70% of those pop-ups, especially on New York newspapers.
Thank you.
Yes?
What do you think, Malwarebytes?
Malwarebytes is fine. I know I read the story in PC Magazine that somebody claimed that Malwarebytes is malware. I haven't found that to be true. It's fine, for now. What I would stay away from is Kaspersky.
You wonder.
I know people are going to make fun because I used to love it. But then my friends, colleagues, and competitors said, you know where it's being produced? In Russia. And even though they had an office in Rhode Island, it was coming from Russia. So don't use Kaspersky, even for free. Yes, sir?
How about Bitdefender?
Bitdefender is really good.
Yeah.
And if you're careful, Bitdefender will give you 3 months free and then another 3 months free before they charge you. And that's become, it used to be just a protective for your computer, and now it has expanded into antivirus. Very good company, still small, not publicly traded, and I hope it stays that way. Very good company.
They're all negotiable too. I mean,
Yes,
their price, so.
gentleman up front here gave very good advice. All these antiviruses are negotiable when it comes to re-upping, just like your telephone company. Yes, sir.
I have an Apple and I've never used an antivirus. Should I use one?
Yes. Only because if I have to fix it, I don't have to drive to your house anymore. All right.
I used it once and it slowed me down so bad I took it off.
That's why the antivirus for Mac is terrible. So I'm guessing we'll stay on top of it because there are now more viruses. Apple is more vulnerable than ever before.
Apple says you don't need it. Apple says you don't need one for the Apple computer. I called them, I had an issue and I said, do I need a virus protection for the Mac? And they said no.
Well, they're wrong. They are wrong. In fact, I went to the Wellington Apple store, and there was a line of people asking about virus because they had a virus. So whatever that's called that fixes things at Apple, there were people lined up to clean that up. Yes, ma'am.
If you want to use Windows Defender and you already have a VAS, you have to get rid of a VAS?
No. There are the reverse is possible. Sometimes the Windows Defender will run all the time. There are other companies that try to say don't use it, but use it. Yes, ma'am.
If I want to change my email address, is there a program that sends that a change request automatically, or do I have to?
What are you changing to from?
From Bell South, which is real old, to a Gmail.
Okay, so Bell South is AT&T, and it was part of Yahoo for a while. There is Gmail knows that, and there is a conversion thing in Gmail that will take your Bell South and convert your contacts to Gmail contacts, and it's free. Yes, sir.
Talking about antivirus, all these antivirus, do they all of them have firewalls?
No. There are some that are strictly antivirus, and if it's the extra edition of whatever it is, it will offer malware and firewall. My advice on firewall is if you live nowhere near the next house, firewall is going to slow down everything. If you live in a condo, use the firewall because it's very easy to access it illegally. Yes, sir.
What do you think of this Fixby stick? The Fixby stick,
I don't know what that is.
it's a device that you can plug in to your UPS port, and it's supposed to clear up your computer if it has any viruses.
I will look that up, but I don't trust anything that is not already there that you add a flash drive to.
Basically, what this flash drive does is it gets it to a website, and the website has
I would go look at the website first, because most flash drives, the ones that you buy in a store, they're mass-produced. They sometimes have problems, and when you put a flash drive in any of your computers for the first time, especially a Windows computer, and it says, do you want this formatted or do you want this corrected? Do that. That'll really save you a lot of time later when there might be an error on that flash drive or whatever you got it from.
What are you doing? Format or what?
When you get a new flash drive,
Okay.
put it into your computer. It will usually ask you, do you want to format it? Say yes. It's much safer that way. And especially if you're getting it from a friend, which is how you get most viruses, and it's already telling you, do you want it fixed, not formatted, do the fix. And that usually will make it safe to use.
On Avast, if you don't upgrade it, you can keep it for free forever?
Yes, but I don't recommend it anymore since the company changed hands. They got a lot of investments. They made the product better, but it's not shareware, meaning it's for profit. And what they're already saying, if you go to their website, is a $19.99 upgrade. So you could do Avast for a day, and the next day it's asking you for an upgrade. If you're going to do that, use another brand of antivirus. Okay, so last round of questions. And how are we doing on? Got it. Okay. So let me volunteer some other things. Coming down the pike in the next 3 months, you will see Amazon finally get some competition for devices that you're buying. Walmart's deal with Jet, and a couple of other companies coming out of the woodwork. So I know most people, including myself, when you're buying something or comparing in a retail store, whether it be clothes or technology, you've got to look at Amazon. The Wall Street Journal and Consumer Reports both claim that there are 2 or 3 other companies now that they're not going to take over Amazon's business, but in certain categories, clothes, cosmetics, healthcare, may do better than Amazon. So don't automatically go to Amazon and buy, look elsewhere. I think Jet has the best chance, whether you be buying milk or toys for your kids. I think Jet is going to do really well. They've got a really good chairman, and he doesn't drink the Walmart Kool-Aid. He has an independent company, but now he's in charge of all of the outside business for Walmart. And I think that's it for today. If there's any more questions, you have all the email. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank everybody for coming, and we hope it was useful and helpful, and we'll see you at one of our future Computer Club meetings.